there's an application that you can sign up with, and you can log in with once you sign up for Twitter. You can actually log into this application with your Twitter account, and it will generate these Pound Follow Friday tweets for you. Now, there's something I want to caution you all on. If you're someone like me, I spend half as much of my time tweeting against David Dewhurst as I do for Ted Cruz. So when this application scans my tweets, it's looking for those tweet handles that I've used a lot. Well, guess who comes up? David Dewhurst and Bob Corker. I don't want anybody to follow them. So I don't really use the app. I just create my own because of the way I go about my business. It's just I end up having to delete so much out of it that it's just easier for me to just generate it myself. If you're tweeting pro stuff and nothing negative against somebody you're directing a message at, this is the application for you, and it's easy, and you can get it on your smartphone. And this is just a Snagit screenshot. As you can see here, it says my best, this was one it generated. My best friends of the week, Ted Cruz, David Dewhurst, Zach for Senate, Senator Bob Corker. Well, that's no surprise because that's generally the four people I'm always tweeting about, either pro-Ted or pro-Zach or anti-Dewhurst or anti-Corker. So that's who it's going to put every time when it generates a tweet for me. And then I have to go in there and erase all that stuff. So, you know, it's a good application. Just be mindful of that. Okay, go ahead. And again, I just wanted to show, here's John. You can see he has created his via the FF Helper. And a lot of people use it. You know, John is not one to post a lot of negative information about other people. So for him, it apparently works. It doesn't generate tweets with people that he really wouldn't want you to follow. Okay, next one, babe. TweetDeck and Hootsuite. Now, let me I just want to stipulate up front, I use Hootsuite. I'm not recommending it to anybody, but that's what I use. Let me tell you what they are. TweetDeck and Hootsuite are two of the bigger applications that will do the same thing. And oh, by the way, all of the tools that I'm telling you all about are free. What money I have, I pay for my subscription for my blog talk radio shows and donating to the campaigns. I can't afford to buy all this stuff, so I found freebies. They're both free. They're two of the bigger applications that do the same thing. These platforms allow you to manage all of your social media sites on one web page. These platforms also allow you to manage multiple Twitter accounts at one time. Next page. Now, here's the good part. This is how. This is a screenshot of my Hootsuite on my home computer. I also have the application on my phone. And you can't see it, but this is my Tennessee Tea Party alert. This is my Texas Tea Party alert. And this is my Cons Nation radio thread. So I can manage all three of my Twitter feeds from this one application. But it gets even better. This is my Hootsuite at home. And as you can see, this is my Facebook news feed and my wall post news feed from Facebook. So if I'm at home and I'm busy doing something and I don't want to have Facebook up and I don't want to have Twitter up, I can pull up Hootsuite and I can monitor all my threads at one time on one screen. It's the greatest thing since sliced cheese. You got to get either one of them. I use Hootsuite, and it gets even better. Go ahead, babe, next screen. Scheduling in bulk. I'm just like all you guys. I don't sit around at home all day long in my mom's basement tweeting for my candidates. I get up and go to work just like you guys. I can't tweet at work. I can sneak out on break or at lunch and I can tweet from my phone, but I can't sit at my desk and tweet. I work at Bank of America and I'd lose my job, and I've been there for a long time, and I like my house and my wife loves me getting up and going to work. But what I can do is the next best thing, because it's imperative. It's critical what we do for our candidates. Our tweeting and our Facebook activities, all of our social media activities is vital to these campaigns. I promise you. If Ted or even David, well, I don't know about David. Actually, he doesn't have a real good grassroots ground game going. But any of the Tea Party candidates will tell you it's vital what we do. What we grassroots activists do on social media is important to them. So we need to be tweeting as much as we can. With Hootsuite and TweetDeck, you can schedule up to 200 tweets per day per Twitter account. That's why I opened up 2 other Twitter accounts and now manage 3. It's an easy format. You do it on an Excel spreadsheet. It's day, month, year, space, military time, okay, comma. And then you type out your tweet. So this is in column A. And then you go to column B, you type out your tweet. Your tweet has to be within quotes. If you have a URL in the tweet, the URL itself has to be within quotes. And you have to save it. And at Hootsuite, and I'll show you a picture in a moment, you go to schedule in bulk. They have the CVS Excel format. You can download it, save it to your computer as a base copy, and then what I do is I have set tweets. I mean, I have 200 tweets that are the same tweets day in and day out. On my Conservative Nation radio shows, from top to bottom, they start at 7 in the morning. On my for my Texas TP Alert Twitter account, it starts at 7 from the bottom up, so that they're the same tweets are tweeting all day long, but they're tweeting in the opposite direction of one another. So you're not seeing the same tweet twice. You know, what is at the top of my list up here is at 7, is at the bottom of the list on the other Twitter account at 7. And then they just kind of pass one another. Next screen, please. This is what it looks like. Typical Excel spreadsheet. You can see column A. You can see day, month, year, military time, comma, is all in column A. Column B, then within quotes, you've got your tweet within quotes. Seeing if there was one on here with the URL, but if there was, the URL itself would be within quotes within that tweet in order for the format to work. From 7 to 7, 12 hours a day, my Twitter account's constantly tweeting. So every 5 minutes. You can see how you can, that right there shows you the power that you have on Twitter. If you're tweeting all day long messages on your candidate's behalf or against your opponent, it's powerful stuff. I have to change it every night. I sit down, I work about 2 or 3 hours at my computer every night, and this is part of what I do every night. I go in and I have to change, if we're not changing months, I have to change the day every night on all 200 tweets. But that's all I do. I just go in and I highlight the very top one, type in 22, highlight it, Control C, and then I just start scrolling down. Control V, boom, Control V, and just change that date. And it does, I mean, I get it done in 30 minutes for all 3 of my Twitter accounts. What's important to me is getting, in this case, Ted's name out there as much as I can. But see, here's the thing. This is what I do. We haven't got to it yet. As this is all tweeting, then when I go out on break or go to lunch for an hour or take my afternoon break, then I can sit out there, and we would get to this, but I'll go ahead and cover it now. I'll check my emails to see if John Drogan has sent me anything, or Zach, or any one of the campaigns, or there's something on Facebook that I find needs to be reposted on Facebook and shared or retweeted on Twitter, and I'll sit out there on my break and I'll retweet other people. I'll put fresh tweets in that are just things that, I get email all day long from all the campaigns I support. Michael, we need you to tweet this. And I'll sit out there and spend my lunch listening to Rush Limbaugh tweeting. That's what I do. I mean, that, it sounds like a boring life, but it makes me happy. And so I'm mixing in there throughout the day fresh stuff. But this is just since I can't obviously be tweeting all day long, this is the next best thing. Yeah, it's the same messages. Yeah, I could spend several hours every night changing these all up. But to me, it's not about so much the content as it is just getting his name out there and getting his name trending. That's the thing, it's trending. We all know, how many here, I was an elections judge. Anybody else was an elections judge? There you go, Ken. You guys know that how many people walked in and did their civic duty but voted that top name. Unless the last name they heard, that's why I had friends of mine sitting out in front of our polling place handing out Craig Bickley stuff, who we wanted to get in as county commissioner over in Tarrant County to replace Fickus. A lot of times it's the last name they heard or the name they hear the most. So I understand where you're coming from, but for me and you're not going to be sitting there looking at them all day long. So that's the other thing. Next slide. This is how you do. So you format that CVS file, save it to your hard drive, and then you go here, you hit browse, you find that file, put it in there. Since I have multiple Twitter accounts, I have to choose which accounts I want to schedule them to, and then hit submit. It calculates it all up. If there's no errors, it says submitted, because you can only do 50 at a time. You could do 4 sets of 50, but you can only, on one Excel spreadsheet, only 50 tweets. It'll say accepted 50 tweets. If there's any errors, it's going to come up in red and it'll tell you what the errors are. And you'll know how to go in and fix them. Next slide. This is another website I highly recommend you follow. And this is a hashtag that you want to get in the habit of using. TCOT, Top Conservatives on Twitter. There's about, I don't know how many, 10, 25,000. I don't know how many people are on here. I know that I'm 2,500 on this list. I mean, generally what's going to happen is the more you tweet, people are going to identify with what you're saying. They're going to follow you. You're going to follow them back. On Fridays, let me go back onto that Follow Friday thing real quick, by the way. On Fridays, you want to send a Follow Friday tweet out of all the people that have retweeted you from that previous Monday. Make that a habit, because that thanks those people who have retweeted you for doing so by saying to people that are following you, this is a good tweet. A tweet, by the way, is like a peep. You know how we say peeps are peeps? A tweep is a person.